When I was earning over 100k per year in a cushy 9 to 5, I never thought I had it in me to build a 6-figure online business to the point where it requires me for around 2, maybe 3 hours of work in any given week. I can and do those 2 and 3 hours work from anywhere, any place, anytime. I book trips on a day's notice, and I don't report to anyone or request to be given a day off. Before I kind of explain how I did that, I do think it's worthwhile to give you some level of backstory as to how I got there. I started off as any young Irish 20-something-year-old trying to get into the corporate world after going to uni, and when I got my piece of paper, I eventually got a sales job. And when I got the sales job, everything started to seem rosy. I thought it was great. Oh my God, I'm gonna make so much money. Life is amazing. Parents were happy. I was feeling good. But the reality was that it was deeply unfulfilling for me. And I knew that. I knew that very quickly. I knew it surprisingly quickly, actually. I remember I got a very big paycheck in one of my first quarters when I was working there. And it gave me the high. It gave me a spike, for sure. I felt great. I get the dopamine. But after that, I felt very empty because I realized that, oh shit, is this now what I do forever? Is this it? Where does this end? And I saw people around the room, they were 10, 15 years older than me. And right there, I could see my future. I could see where I was going. And that scared me. That scared me a lot because I didn't want it. I didn't really want this. I just wanted money. And more importantly, I wanted what money could give me, which was the ability to do things I like, to travel, to be free, to explore all the different paths I could explore in life. I couldn't do that if I was tied to this desk job my whole life, just doing the thing over and over to get money so I could come in the next week and do the thing over and over. When 2-3 years in, I kind of reached a boiling point then, because as time went on, I just knew that I needed to try something else, but I was so afraid. I was afraid to try anything. I was afraid that if I tried and failed, I'd look stupid. I was afraid people would laugh at me. And it stopped me from ever trying. And the difficulty was that I couldn't quite get over that last little hurdle to just try. Because if I just tried, then I probably would have figured it out. And I think if I have any regrets, it's not trying this earlier. I know it's not cool to say you don't have regrets, but that would be one for me. Because what trying, which I eventually did, has opened up for me in my life, in my mind, in my opportunities. It's infinite. It's truly infinite. If you think of entrepreneurship and employment, think of them like two triangles, two pyramids. You've got employment facing upwards like this, like the pyramid. It starts off great, down the bottom expansive and wide, but as you get up, it gets quite restricted and capped. You can only go so high. Whereas entrepreneurship is like the pyramid flipped upside down. Whereas it starts off very difficult and restrained and challenging, and it's always challenging, but when you go up and up and up, it gets more expansive and infinite, and it can flow and change in so many ways that a job just can't. And so I'm very grateful that what I've decided to do has got me here. And how I did this was I did the thing that I was so afraid to do, which was pay money to someone who had knowledge that I didn't have. Now, why was that so scary? Well, I didn't know if it was going to work. Through this journey, I've realized that you never know if you will make it work. But the reality is, it's down to you. It was down to me. If you were watching this and you're thinking about doing this, well, you might have to do that as well. You might have to plug a knowledge gap. You might have to plug a skill gap. Because let's be real here, if you want to make 5, 10, 15K a month, why aren't you? That was the question I had to ask myself. And when I did, it led me to put my money where my mouth was. And so I did that, spent a very challenging first year, losing 40K on very risky investments, getting fired from my job, and then to top it all off, my business was losing money. So it was not a dream start for me. But what happened was I changed models. I changed to a very simple online service where I provide an offer to a specific type of client, and off I went. Now that is what changed everything for me. That is what allowed me to scale, close clients very quickly with some build in public content where I just talked about what I was doing, nothing flashy, and a slick sales system for closing those deals efficiently. Now, this was easier for me because I'd worked for 8 years in sales, so I was coming at that from just a bit more of a lens of experience than the average person who also ran the same offer as me. And as things progressed, I automated the fulfillment to now run without me. So I work 2 or 3 hours a week, and it's what prompted me to start a podcast to try and inspire other people to, hey, make the same leap that I did. Like, start to work on something, start to pay a mentor that can help you, start to find knowledge that you don't otherwise have. And to me, that's what changed everything for me. It's because I put my chips on the table, and let me tell you, when you do that, everything is going to matter a whole lot more. My goal with the podcast was to help people. I just really liked that I beat myself. I beat that voice in my head that said, oh, you can't do shit. You can't do this. You're never going to leave your 9 to 5. I did. And I just know what it's like to not believe that you can do that. And I also know what it's like to still do it despite not believing you can do it. And so that is what I would like to share with anyone. That is why I make content like this. That's why I work with people one-to-one, is because it's very rewarding for me to see other people go through that same transition. And so if you are one of those people, my question really to you is, why haven't you tried to work with someone? Why haven't you tried to invest in your skills? You've got to be very honest with yourself and ask yourself, why aren't you making the money that you want? Is it because you don't have knowledge or skills? Do you need to improve those? Do you need accountability? Do you need help with your sales? Do you need help with your content? What is it that's stopping you? You have to ask yourself that question if you really want it. And the reality is, you might find that you just don't really want it that much, and so maybe a job is actually better suited to you. That's fine. That's not a negative thing. But if you do want it, there's going to have to be a seismic shift. You have to change what you're doing in order for that to happen. And so if this is something that you want to do, you can book a call with me. There's a link in the description. I accept a certain amount of one-to-one clients. I don't want to overwhelm myself. I just like the proximity with people. And if it's something that you want to do, book a call. Maybe you're on the fence. Maybe you don't have an offer at all. Maybe you do and you're not quite converting the leads that you have. Maybe you don't have any leads at all. Wherever you're kind of at in that space, this coaching that I provide can fill a lot of those gaps. And the thing is, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. You just need to commit and do the things that are needed to be done. Think about how you want your life to look in 3 years. If you want it to be the same as what it is now, then, I don't really know why you're watching this video. But if you do want it to be different, you have to just admit to yourself that there are actions you're going to need to take, things that you're going to need to do in order to make that happen. This is how you're going to get back your time and how you're going to get back your freedom.